Today I'm making a delicious baked rice pudding, and I'll show you how to make it beautifully light and fluffy. Hey, I'm Jacob, and let's get started. Let's get cooking. It all begins with the rice. And for this kind of baked rice dessert, you need to choose the right kind. I actually go for the cheapest rice because it softens and breaks down quickly, which is exactly what I want here. Rinse the rice really well, and if you're wondering how much, I'd say a lot. Just keep rinsing until the water runs clear. Then pour in 1 liter of milk. Cover it with a lid and let it cook slowly, very slowly. Cook the rice until it's completely soft, which usually takes about 45 minutes to an hour depending on the type of rice. While it's cooking, make sure to stir it often so it doesn't burn on the bottom of the pot. And if the milk gets absorbed before the rice is fully soft, just add a little more milk and stir it well again so it won't stick. Just to be clear, today's recipe makes enough for about 6 to 8 people, depending on how big the servings are. While the rice is cooking, prepare a baking dish by greasing it generously with butter. And I really mean generously. I don't want the pudding sticking or burning onto the dish, so this is not the time to be stingy with butter. Besides, the butter makes it taste better too. Don't forget to grease the sides of the dish as well. After that, dust the whole dish with breadcrumbs including the sides, and that part is done. Now we can move on to the fruit. I like this baked rice pudding best with fruit compote. My favorite is apricot, but jarred apricots are harder to find these days, and the times when I used to can them myself are long gone. So today I'm using plums, which are also fantastic. Drain the fruit and save the juice for later because we're going to use it when serving. Great! While we were prepping the dish and draining the fruit, the rice finished cooking. It's nice and soft now, but we need it to cool down. To speed that up, I cool it over a cold water bath. And of course, if you want it to cool quickly, you need to keep stirring it. Now let's keep going. This dessert is also all about the eggs, and it's important to separate the whites from the yolks and whip the whites into stiff peaks. There are all kinds of mixers out there, but forget the big stand mixers and fancy whisks. This hand mixer is the best. It makes the egg whites fast and firm, just the way we need them. I also add vanilla sugar to the egg whites and whip them again. When the sugar gets beaten in, the foam becomes even thicker and sturdier. Scrape the finished egg whites into the cooked rice, basically into this thick rice porridge. And this part is important, the rice has to be properly cooled. If it's still warm, the whipped egg whites will collapse, and the finished pudding won't be nearly as fluffy. Then beat the egg yolks with sugar until they turn into a smooth, creamy mixture. Perfect. Look at how light and creamy those yolks are. That's basically a rich egg cream, and it's excellent. Add the whipped yolks to the rice and egg whites, and scrape the bowl out really well. It would be a shame to leave any of that behind. Then I add a few more spoonfuls of sugar and some finely grated lemon zest. That lemon zest really takes the flavor to another level. One quick side note. This is the right moment to turn on the oven so it has time to preheat. I also add a little salt. Don't be afraid of it. You won't actually taste the salt in the dessert. I add it because sweet dishes can get overwhelming after a few bites, and a little salt helps balance that out so it doesn't feel too sugary too fast. Some people also add cinnamon, but I don't use it here. I just don't like it that much in baked rice pudding. Then mix everything together really well. Honestly, this mixture tastes so good already that I start sneaking bites right from the bowl. It's just ridiculously good. Once the batter is mixed, pour about 2/3 of it into the baking dish. The reason for using 2/3 first is that the plums are heavier than the rice mixture. If you only poured in half, the fruit would sink too close to the bottom. But with 2/3 underneath, the plums end up sitting more or less in the middle, which is perfect. Spread the plums evenly over the first layer. One more important thing, in this stage, work fairly quickly. Add everything to the mixture, pour it into the dish, add the fruit, and get it into the oven fast so the whipped egg whites don't deflate. I'm getting ahead of myself a little, but that really matters. Then pour the rest of the batter over the plums, and if any plums are sticking out too much, just press them in lightly. We're almost done now. I also add a little butter on top for even better flavor. The pudding needs to go into a fully preheated oven. I bake it at 160 degrees Celsius, which is about 320 degrees Fahrenheit, for around 60 minutes. That depends on the oven, of course, because every oven bakes a little differently. For the first 20 minutes, I bake it without opening the oven door. Perfect. Today it turned out great again. It's done, and we can serve it. On the plate, I drizzle the rice pudding lightly with melted butter. Dust it with a little powdered sugar. Spoon over a bit of the plum juice, and then give it just a little more sugar on top. And how do you garnish it? Something simple, like a little mint. Friends, that's all from me today. Enjoy your meal, and I'll see you next time in the kitchen.